Hi, welcome to Carol's Journey. My name is Carolyn Smith. I'm your host and producer of this show. Carol Journey is a magazine show that deals with arts, craft, travel, music, various historical events, cultural events, and we're going to explore many different topics that may be of interest to you in the Bronx community. Today we're going to explore the topic of Native Americans, past and present. So come along with me on Carol's Journey.
Hello, how you doing? I'm Andre Sharif, known as Quiet Thunder. I'm here in the Bronx with
Ukuiuhi, Okinatsali, Tawori Usti.
and also Grey Wolf, known as.
Sagona gel skalonwaya, anawaya juni yonwe a yonwayahi, ayan uhyondala kalankan, dini wolu hiski dijala gi anina stalan, go helo di dodo an.
Other words.
I am Grey Wolf of the Wolf Clan. I am of the principal people. I'm a Northeastern Band Cherokee Indian tribal enrollee.
And I want to know, Grey Wolf, actually, how did you meet Uku?
I met him at a powwow in at the Queen's Farm powwow, actually. And I had heard about him for a couple of years. I've been wanting to meet him. And we just never were able to hook up. He had things he had to attend to. I had things I had to attend to. Sometimes there were meetings and he just didn't come to them because he had other issues to deal with. So finally we're at the Queen's Farm powwow and someone told me, hey, Okeeno's over there. So I said, really? So then when I finally saw him, he spoke to me in nothing but Cherokee and I responded. And I got a little hung up when I asked him, you know, where he was from. Haton Hinela. And he said something I didn't quite understand, and I said, Tlaigolika. And he said, Birdtown. I said, wait a minute, isn't it Gisqua Dikadu, huh? And he goes, no, we have a different way of saying it. And that's how we met. That was our first meeting, and since then it's been an education.
Actually, what clan are you from?
I am from Aniwaya Junionwi, Wolf Clan.
The Wolf Clan?
Aya, Ani, Gilohi, Long Hair Clan.
In this segment, our guest, Chief Okeno Little Hawk, is explaining to our host, Andre Bunch, the myths about Native Americans.
Yes, I just want to know basically, Uku, can I call you Uku or is that disrespect? Is it any way, what, is it any, what can I call you by?
I think
For short.
Uku would be sufficient, but
Uh-huh.
generally my tribal members, due to respect, will call me Ukuiuhi, but Uku is sufficient.
Okay, thank you. So, Uku, I just want to know basically the history of the Bronx and how did the natives have an active part in this community?
Well, we have to go back quite a ways. The Bronx was originally inhabited by about maybe 2 or 3 different tribes. This particular area of the Bronx was occupied by a tribe known as the Ranchiqua or Ranaqua people. If you go up in the Bronx, up near Westchester County, you had a tribe up there called the Siwanoy people. A little bit more south in the Bronx, which also went into parts of northern Manhattan, you had a people that was called the, oh my God, I forgot the name of the people. But they were the people who sold Manhattan Island.
Okay, anyhow, so that's a good history. Can you give us a little history about yourself? How did you come to this position, and basically your background?
Well, originally I'm from Cherokee, North Carolina, and Quiet or Grey Wolf stated that I came from Birdtown, which is not quite true. I came from Graham County, North Carolina, and the town that I came from was Snowbird, which is so far up in the mountains you have to look through about 3 or 4 cloud formations. We're like the hillbillies of the boundary. I became the Ukuiuhi when my uncle was savagely killed on the reservation by the KKK. This was the brother of my mother, and we follow our chieftaincy. And I shouldn't really say chieftaincy because in Cherokee we don't have chiefs, but my position was followed through my mother's clan, and he was the Uku at that time. And when he died, me being the eldest son on my mother's side of the family, the responsibility came down to me. It's through bloodlines.
Okay, and also, to our audience out there, describe the difference between, looking at you or whatever. People is always saying that, okay, and looking at myself, that, you're basically just African American or something like that, and you don't have no native in you. And the natives that they actually do see is the ones in Hollywood, the plain Indians, may I say, with the long feathers and stuff that you see John Wayne actually shooting up and making fun of. They call him the Red Man. Okay, basically, can you elaborate on that? On basically, the thing about people saying how a native's supposed to look.
Well, first of all, I'd like to start off by saying a native is supposed to look like me. When we discovered Columbus in 1492, October 12th, to be exact, when Columbus first laid eyes upon the people that you now call Indians, what he saw was a racially mixed people at that time. He saw high yellow people, he saw very dark people, he saw brown-skinned people. He saw a group of people who had a history of dealing with people who traded with them from all over the world. And so when Columbus and his merry men came on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, he had come to a people who were well accustomed to seeing such a strange people, should I say. And when Uganagarif, who was the paramount chief, Taino, in the Lucaos, which we now call the Bahamas, saw Columbus and his merry men, he treated him with respect as one trading partner would for another. And Columbus took this as some kind of Uganagarif giving up his authority, his lands, his people. Truth of the matter is, to look at real Indians as Columbus so-called called the people, you are looking at a rainbow color of people, not just those nickel Indians that you see on your nickel.
Yeah, as we can see, as in Hollywood, as we all know that, especially back in the 50s, 60s, and still now, basically Hollywood has that image of what they want to perceive as what that's supposed to be. Quote unquote, African American supposed to look like this, a native supposed to look like that, and so forth and so far. They always been doing that in history. Okay. Is that?
Can I add something?
Oh
to
yeah,
that,
sure.
please? I'm sorry. To call us Indians is really not what we called ourselves. To make things simple for other people, they call us Cherokees or Sioux or Apache. But the names that we had for ourselves were really totally different. Most people who are native to this hemisphere never call themselves Indians. They call themselves the people. We so-called Cherokees called ourselves Aniyankwia, meaning the principal people. So I'm only going to allow us to refer to my tribe and our people as Indians simply for this here interview. But just keep in mind, it is not how we think of ourselves.
Okay, and then elaborating on the principal people, how do you basically what's the brief history of the Cherokee as far as like it came from the beetle, and the bird was, which bird was that? That was a sacred bird that said it formulated the world. Do you have any
Talinua.
Talinua?
The Talinua. That's the the great buzzard. That's the great buzzard. But you're asking of the history of of our people.
Exactly.
Well, that's
where it was called the principal people. Why is the Selaki people, which is the Cherokees, were called the principal people?
all right. That's a very, very good one, and it's going to take a little while. We Aniankwia people originally came from up here, the Northeast, upstate New York. We were once a part of the Haudenosaunee, the Iroquois people. And many, many, many moons ago, we were forced by our cousins, the Iroquois, out of the northeastern region of this state. And we went down into Jersey, in which we fought a 300 years war with the Delaware people. We went also into the Ohio Valley, in which we fought there for 100 years. And finally, we migrated down into the southeast. And I will call that period, or that region, the historical region, where in 1540 we discovered DeSoto in the town of Goulet.
See, the funny thing about it, I never heard all this in history school. You know, I mean, never taught you in school anything about this type of history.
Of course not, because they don't know. we people, we don't like, you know, we don't talk that much about our history. Our white brothers have said so much about us, and when we would tell our white brothers about where we had come from and our history, they would always have to say that it was something else. We could not have come from where we said. We could not have done the things that we have done. So their history and our history is always totally different. In fact, history is his story. It's not ours.
And another thing, we see that you have basically some regalia on. Can you describe each piece that you're wearing right now? The little bit that it is. I mean.
Well, I didn't realize I had on any regalia. However, this yellow shirt is a ribbon shirt, something that became popular, I'd say, in the past 100, 200 years. I have on what is called a gorget. This is basically of European extraction. We noticed that when the generals from the Civil War areas and from the Revolutionary War area, the people of high stature would wear these things around their necks. And we Aniyankwe people, being a trading people as we were, we liked it. We liked the look. We liked the authority that it seemed to convey. And so we started to duplicate them. And our white brothers, cousins, would sometimes make gifts of these things to chiefs or warriors of great stature. I, being a chief, Ukuwiuhi, I wear a gorget. But if you go to powwows, you may see other Eastern warriors wearing the same type of thing. The feather, this is a turkey feather wand, or fan. I use it to cool myself with.
It actually feels good, too.
It's also a healing fan. It has an aura about it. If you pass it over a sick person, if you pass it over a person who seems to be down on their luck, it seems to soothe them and heal them. You'll see on many, many, many occasions native with fans. These fans are not just like in the Oriental culture where they do things like that for beauty's sake or for cooling sake, but it's also for healing too. It's part of our culture. It has always been a deep ingrained part of our culture, and something we'll probably have from here until when a holocaust takes us all away.